Okay, so one of the ways we start advancing our Siniwalli is we start changing the targets. So I'm going to just go with the inward backhand for now. You could do this with everything you're doing, including your 4 counts, right? And the cob, et cetera, et cetera. But with the heaven 6, for instance, or the inward backhand, what I can start to do is change what I'm hitting. So for instance, heaven 6, these are all strikes high. They're at the head, or they could be down at the opponent's hands. But I could also go high, then a low strike high, which we call standard 6. So I'm going inward, but my backhand is low, my second backhand is high. Inward, low backhand, high backhand. Or I could go all at the knees here, which we call earth 6, right? So all inward backhand, but I'm hitting low. I can do 2 high and then low, 2 to the head and 1 to the legs, or I can reverse that and go 2 to the legs, 1 to the head, 2 to the legs, and 1 to the head. Or I can go high, 2 low, high, 2 at the legs, or I can go low, 2 at the head, low, 2 at the head, okay? Lastly is I could go low, high, and low, high, and low, which is always a little bit tricky. So again, all strikes high. If I'm going to break it down a little differently than what I just demoed, all strikes low, all at the legs. 2 high and 1 low. 2 high and 1 low. 2 low and 1 high. 2 low and 1 high. 1 high and double low. 1 high, both low. 1 low, come up high again. 1 low, come up high again. High, low, high, which we call standard 6. And lastly, low, high backhand, low, high backhand, low. What I recommend you do is train each one individually for a little while, because what's going to happen is it's going to force you to kind of change your body positioning, especially when I do that last one. When I go low, high, I have to figure out a way to deliver that next low strike, which is going to be more diagonal down. I go low, high, and then I got to hit low here. Low, high, and then low, okay? But any of them are going to be challenging that you're not used to. Maybe going 1 high, 2 low, 1 high, 2 low. Just kind of get that feel, whatever footwork you want to use. Right now I'm just switching my lead. You could do it with the triangle footwork that we did earlier. You could even do it with triangle footwork stepping to the other side. It's just going to feel different. All of it's good. All of it's good for development. But visualize your targets and play with all those different permutations of targets, right? Of elevation, hitting the head or hitting down at the legs, okay? So try that, and then we're going to add some other things. Okay, and then lastly, another way to challenge your Siniwalli is you start cutting things up in half. You could do this with the basics that I showed earlier. So what I mean by that is I do a 4 count with the right stick. So before we did 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bisidario 6 count. Then we have our heaven 6 here. And then we did cob, either cob 6 count or cob 3 count on this side, cob 3 count on this side, high, high, high. Okay, so what I can do now is once you're really solid with those, now you start cutting them in half. So I might go 2 count over here, 6 count over here, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, okay? On and on and on. What I like to do is break them all up in half, and it works out pretty symmetrically. So if I go 1, 2, then I do a Bisidario 3 on this side, then I do heaven 3, then I do cob 3, okay? That'll keep me on one side here, okay? If I take one out, it ends up being symmetrical, working both sides. So I'll go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Then I go 2 count, 3 count, and then heaven 3 on this side, okay? So again, depending what, how you want to do it, just mess with that where you're cutting them in half. You can just do 2 of the patterns. You can do 3, you can do 4. Some are going to balance out. Some are going to just be one-sided. But it's a great way to really get more and more independence with your double stick is you cut them in half. You can do the same with the, inward backhand, backhand, and inward backhand, inward. So meaning I can do heaven 3, and maybe I do umbrella 3 over here. Or I can do umbrella 3, and I do heaven 3 here. Okay? On and on and on. Think about all the level changing, right? If I do heaven 3 here, umbrella 3 here, maybe I do earth 3 here, and all low strikes, umbrella, earth here like this, right? Heaven, umbrella, low umbrella, earth 6. Endless possibilities, but just take the concept of cutting them in half on each side and see how that feels, see what you can do.